Yes, we have actually brought the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, which is what I thought we were. Well, he'll be back. Well, one of the hardest things I had, to film, for us to film, was we're talking about a predator. These animals that they haven't been around in 65 million years. So, I mean, we had all kinds of barriers. It's a multifaceted question. There were language barriers. There were communication barriers. There was just physically dealing with something that large. We didn't know how to communicate with it.
Right!
Well, they would make several scrawl marks as a means of communication. We had to figure out what that meant. Okay, and the microphone's getting moved. Well, there were other motions that they would make. It was body language. We had to get body language experts from all over the planet to try to help us communicate, and that was a challenge. The hardest scene. Well, that's in Jurassic Park there was there was a scene in a Jeep. That was probably the hardest. We have a T-Rex overturning a Jeep with children in it. Do you know how hard it is to keep an actual T-Rex not to eat children in a Jeep? Which was
a Ford Explorer, not a Jeep.
A tuna can that got dumped over it. And people that asked me, they just said, well, why don't you look back to some of your previous movies? How did you deal with that stuff, like with Jaws or whatever? I mean, you know, Jaws was a mechanical shark that we had built. I don't look back at my previous movies at all. When a movie's done, it's done. I don't revisit it. I don't live on it. Well, other difficulties were, I guess, humans. I myself had my own difficulties, but other humans had their difficulties. Well, the actors dealing with something like a T-Rex, which is not something that people are used to. Like I said, 65 million years. Jeff Goldblum, who played Ian Malcolm, he was not a fan. Laura Dern, who played Ellie Sadler, her and the T-Rex got along quite a bit. We actually had to go and get her out of the T-Rex's trailer several times. You don't know anything about that? Yeah. Edit that part out. Don't let that show. The children, they were terrified. The leg lamb scene, they were terrified with that. But most of all, the T-Rex did. They did a wonderful job. I mean, this is something no one had ever done. Michael Crichton's version of his explanation of how these animals came onto this planet was something that we had never seen before. They shouldn't be set to the side. The T-Rex and I, we've not 100% in contact. I gave him my agent's number, and he obviously he's. Maybe he has a new phone number he's going to put in. The original plan was to stay with all movies, but did you see Jurassic Park 3? It wasn't good at all. No, we didn't have a problem with any actors. Maybe with a couple of the Predators. If you remember the first Jurassic Park movie, the two Velociraptors, those dinosaurs, they had their union cards taken away. They weren't actually supposed to eat Samuel L. Jackson, so they were removed from the project. So any Velociraptors in any previous or films after that, we never saw them. You know, that's a question I get asked a lot. Was the lawyer actually eaten? Because you see Jeff Goldblum, you see Ariana Richards, Joseph Mazzello, Richard Attenborough, all doing public spots, but you never see the lawyer. So people always ask me, did the T-Rex actually eat the actor of the lawyer? And the answer is...
That's all you see, master. Good lord.